Hi everyone, this is Jim. Welcome to this Blitz chess postmortem video. This is a postmortem of my Blitz chess game number 52, where my opponent opened up with e4, I play e5, and he goes into the Danish gambit. So I have to say I was a little dubious about uploading this game because it wasn't particularly well played, but this was the first game I've had on these video series in the Danish gambit, so it gives me a chance to talk a little bit about the opening, and so I thought I'd go ahead and upload it for that reason, talk about that, and go through the rest of the game kind of quickly. So e4, e5, just the normal moves, and now if is the nomenclature I find very confusing here. If he plays d4 right away, this is the center game. If he plays knight to f3 and you play, knight to c6, and then he plays d4, then that's the Scotch game. So let's erase those guys. Well, he just played d4, so let's just put it on the board. And I took it, which is the normal move. So this is the center game. And the center game, the main line for the center game continues, queen takes d4. And you get a tempo by harassing the queen, but white develops his pieces, can maybe castle queenside and get a kingside attack. That's one of his ideas here. Hasn't proved to be too successful for white, but doesn't mean it's a bad opening. Just means it doesn't have a great advantage for white. So white players have gone elsewhere to try and find an advantage. Anyway, that's the center game. When you play c3, then this is considered the Danish gambit. This is called the Danish gambit, I mean. And you don't have to take the pawn. You can play d5 here. That's an alternative. But it's okay to take it. This is one of those gambits you don't, if you know how to play, you don't have to worry about too much. Now, white can stop the damage after one pawn by taking back with the knight. But the main way the Danish is played is with this move, bishop c4, sacrificing another pawn if you dare to take it. And it turns out it's possible to take the second pawn too, although obviously white gets a lot of open lines for his bishops. There's some scary looking stuff going on here. So you have to play this carefully and know what you're doing. But and d6, I don't know about the line with d6. The line I always play is knight f6. And then my opponent played queen b3 here, but I wanted to show you the main idea of this knight f6 line, which is if white plays e5, then you can play d5. And if he takes his knight, you can take his bishop. And he takes this, he trades queens first, and then takes his pawn here. And it looks like at this point white is winning because his bishop supports this pawn. This pawn forks your two pieces, and so it looks like he's going to win a piece here. But you have this move, bishop to b4 check, and normally he will block, and then you can play rook to g8. I don't know about that rook e8 line. So you want to put pressure on this pawn right away. You don't want him to keep it. And anyway, the game goes on from here. You momentarily have a pawn advantage as black. The material is otherwise even, but you do have the two bishops. But white has an advantage in development, and he's going to castle queenside, and you're going to have to act defensively for a few moves and play carefully. But if you play this out correctly, this is a slight advantage for black. And so it's kind of a way to pretty much neutralize the Danish gambit. So that's the idea of this knight f6 move. And so this idea happens a lot in other lines too, so keep an eye out for it. You play knight f6 with the idea of playing d5 and counterattacking his bishop. This d5 move is a very important resource, and you'll even see it in the game. So let's go take a look at the notation tab. Queen b3. I did take a look at this with the computer, but didn't add a lot to what was already clear was going on. So queen b3 attacking on f7 here, and now you play d5 immediately to shut down this attack. And if he takes with a bishop, you exchange the bishop. And then he can take back with either the pawn or the queen. Basically, you're giving back a pawn. You're already 2 pawns up, so it doesn't hurt to give back a pawn. And you need to do something about his attack, which if you don't try to put some spikes in the wheels, you'll get in big trouble here. So, and if he advances the pawn, you take the bishop again. So actually taking, which he played, is the best move. And then you develop your bishop here and prevent him from advancing that pawn further. And now this line is shut down, and it's fairly safe for black, and black has a decent advantage at this point. So the game continues in a normal fashion for a few moves. And right here, the computer pointed out something I missed during the game, so maybe this is one place where the computer was helpful. There's a tactic here that black has that I didn't really think about. If you want to pause the video here and consider what's the best move for black, this could be a good time to do a tactical quiz. It's kind of a deep tactic, so you might want to consider it for a long period of time. Not something that leaps out at you. In fact, I'm not even sure about it now. even after having the computer show me that that's the best move. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and play it. So it could start in either of one of two ways. That the first move could either be bishop takes, h7 check, or knight to c5. But those are the two moves. So say knight c5 first. Queen could go to c2, and then bishop takes, h7 check, the so-called Greek gift sacrifice. So the king takes, and then the knight comes up here with check. And now if the king goes back, I think this is very difficult to defend. Because there's this threat of queen here mating, and black's dark squared bishop that might defend that square is over here, blocked by his own knight, so it can't even come back to this square and try and defend. Of course, that was covered by the knight too. But and the knight can't get over and defend, the queen can't get over and defend, so it looks like the only move here is to move the rook. And so anyway, you get in and you get a terrific attack. The other way, let's back up. Instead of king g1, the computer recommends king g3, but it still gives black a strong advantage here. And I think you can see that black is in a bit of trouble here. The knight is defended, so you can play a move like queen to d6 check, or you could play something like queen out here to g5, threatening some kind of discovered attack here. It actually threatens immediately a knight here with a discovered check and an attack on the queen. So a couple ways to proceed there, and this is something, if you're interested in honing your attacking skills, you could set up a position like this on the board and try and play it out and see if you can find the best moves for white here after black. I mean, the best moves for black after king g3. The computer rates this as about a 3-point advantage for black, so this should be a winning attack, but not a mating attack. So it's kind of interesting to play out. In the game, I didn't spot that. I just played the normal move knight to b6, hitting his bishop. I want to trade off some of his attacking pieces, and that's a very powerful piece here. He decides to keep it, and I develop my other bishop. And he plays knight e4, and this is the losing move, really. And if you don't see right away why this is losing, this is a simple tactic. So take a minute. Okay, I'm going to give away the answer. This is an example of what's called an overworked piece. The bishop is trying to defend to both of the knights, and both the knights are under attack. So I think I could take in either order. I took on e4. I didn't even notice the bishop was overworked at first. I noticed after it took back that this knight is just hanging here. So I took it. And it's pretty much game over. I mean, he kept playing, but there's not a lot else happening. I just maintained my advantage. I mean, he's making threats, which is what you do. You try to complicate things and make threats. So he's threatening checkmate here. But I defend. He attacks my bishop, and I retreat it. and he doesn't want to trade pieces, but at some point it becomes difficult for him to make progress without trading something. And here, oh, there, I made a mate threat myself just to keep him on his toes. But he kept on playing. He saw the mate, but then he forgot somehow that this pawn was protected. So after I took his queen, then he resigned. So not a great game, but there was a little bit of interest there. A couple of tactics to look at, and a little bit about the Danish gambit. So hope you guys enjoyed that, and I will see you again soon. Bye.